Greetings YouTube, LMS Tactical here. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It finally stopped raining long enough for me and Charlie to get some fresh air. Come on, Charlie. Just look at the majestic king. Oh, he's a good boy. I know, Charlie. Yeah, so today, this is going to be kind of a different topic. It has to do with law enforcement, and I hope that at the end of the whole thing, I don't lose my law enforcement friends. I know some of them are going to have a hard time understanding where I'm going with this video, so I'll try to explain it through a pretty detailed preface. So I want you to get your, if you're a cop hater, get your cop hater hat on. If you're pro law enforcement, get that hat on. If you're in the middle, don't wear a hat. So I want to bring you back to the early 80s and early 90s to the mid 90s. Los Angeles, gang wars, you know, raging, Crips versus Bloods. Everybody was killing everybody else. And, you know, we were the LAPD, man. We rocked. We owned that entire city. I mean, we really believed there was nowhere in that city that we couldn't go. I'm not talking about, obviously, we need search warrants to go inside somebody's house, but I'm talking about geographically. Oh, give me that pawpaw. He likes me to hold his hand. He's a baby. That's okay. I heard it, and he heard a shotgun, so he gets nervous. Now he wants to run back home. No, stay here. It's okay. He's afraid of gunfire. Charlie, you are definitely not a hunting dog. You stop it. Sit down. Be okay. Good boy. You'll be okay. Let Daddy make my video. Okay, so you can imagine, you know, if you haven't been there, you have to use your real imagination to stay there. It's okay. The vibe that existed between law enforcement and the citizens, while it might have been different than it is today, it wasn't much. I mean, especially after Rodney King. I mean, you know, you either hated cops or you loved them. And out in that area, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of love for the cops. So, you know, we would be wading through just one horrific, you know, multiple victim murder scene after another. I mean, without exaggeration. I mean, I could pull 1,000 stories out of my head right now. First one that comes to my head, just to give you an idea what a regular night on patrol was like back then. There was a church in the south end of LA, South Central, and it was just after sunset, and a couple of gangs met each other and got into a shootout, which was pretty typical. I don't know, I guess about 5 blocks away, and there were victims down. You know, a couple people had been killed, and you know, some others injured, whatever. And as we're at that scene, all of a sudden you know, a call comes out that there's a shooting victim, you know, 5 blocks away at the church. So we had enough units there. It was our area. We pulled off. We get to the church, and would you believe, you know, I'm just trying to spare you the details, but here this African-American couple, it was an African-American neighborhood in those days, comes the train. They were practicing for their wedding, which was coming up rather quickly. And one of those stray AK-47 rounds, a 7.62 millimeter, went through the stained glass window and hit the bride-to-be right in the head. And she dropped dead right there in the aisle as they were practicing. I mean, can you imagine the scene? And I apologize if anybody's related to this, any of these people I'm telling the story about. I don't even remember the names, quite frankly. But can you imagine practicing for your wedding and your fiance gets her brains blown out while she's wearing, you know, a beautiful dress? And you know, I mean, that kind of scene was really almost nightly back then. Innocent people getting taken out. It was bad enough that the gang members were killing each other, but you know, when they were using fully automatic, you know, rifles and high caliber weapons, you know, it was very common. I mean, everybody slept on the floor in the projects. I mean, that was just a given because of the amount of bullets flying through the windows. So, you know, you go through that night after night after night after night, and I'm actually going somewhere with this. You ultimately end up developing kind of an us against them mentality. And you absolutely, and I'm speaking about those days, and I'm sure it's the same now, you avoided communications with non-cops. I mean, at almost any expense, because anyone that wasn't a cop had no idea, could not relate to you. I imagine it's probably the same for a combat veteran. You know, I mean, people want to know how many people did you kill. I used to get that asked all the time. Hey, how many people have you killed? Have you ever used your gun? What's the worst thing you've ever seen? That kind of shit. And if it wasn't that, they were telling you about how fucked up the last experience they had with a cop was. Man, you know, you go to a family party, and, you know, first it'd be like a dentist. You know, everybody goes up to them and shows them their teeth. Charlie, sit down. Wait, good boy. You just wait. Wait for daddy. And, you know, people would want you to explain away their traffic stop, man. And how could you? You weren't there. So after a while, you just, quite frankly, hated people that weren't cops. And you don't even notice that effect growing on you. And I remember it came to a head for me when, you know, so you have no cop or no non-cop friends, period. You know, you do all your off-duty shit. Everything is with cops. Your whole life is cop, 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 cop. Go to the beach, go with cops. Go fishing, go with cops. Cops barbecue, cops at the, you know, the Super Bowl game, whatever. Charlie, wait for daddy. We're not done. You just wait here, okay? You stop it. I'm going to tell everybody how afraid my hunting dog is of shots, gunshots. You don't want me to do that, do you? That's what I thought. So it came to a head with me one day when, you know, I actually started developing this belief. I didn't really realize this until hindsight, but I started thinking that anyone between the ages of about 12 and 30 was just a fucking absolute suspect. That they had either been in prison or had done things and not gotten caught, but I didn't trust anybody that age. I just, you know, you see 4 or 5 teenagers hanging out on the street. You were sure one had a gun, the other had the dope, and they all had warrants. You know, you just started thinking that way. Charlie, wait. And it got so bad that one time, you know, I was coming down the street and in my own car, I think. And, you know, because I would drive 75 miles to get home. And I remember, you know, I'd see people stopped at red lights and shit, and I'd be thinking, you fucking people have no clue. You're going to your offices. You have no fucking clue what goes on while you sleep down on the south end of Los Angeles. And not only do they not have a clue, they don't care. You know, it was really weird. It was a weird phenomenon. It's like you knew the big secret of the real life that was taking place in the shadows of the city. But other people just wouldn't believe it. You didn't see it on the news. Somebody's shooting again. You didn't see it on the news, and, you know, the news couldn't cover all the murders. There was multiple murders every day. And I remember one time, Charlie, you stay with Dad. Stop trying to escape. So I remember one day I was driving home, and as I got into my town, I see like a little league baseball game going on at a park. So almost automatically I pulled into the park and I sat there and watched these young teenagers playing this game. And then I actually sat there and cried. I realized that mathematically it was impossible that all young people were fucked up. You know, they got to be somewhere. So when you see them standing on the corner and hanging out, they got to do something. They didn't have the internet in those days. And it taught me. I mean, I used to stop at that park regularly to get a fix, to get a dose of normal young people that weren't killing each other. Sitting there in my 1985 Buick Skylark. The Blue Flame. That's what everybody called it. Boy, I put some miles on that. Charlie, you wait. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down and wait for Daddy. Good boy. You just wait. We'll go in a minute. You stop being a baby. You don't look at me like that. You know that's sad. Now we got a fucking tree breaking. Fucking tree fall on my head, man. That's karma. So, oh, he's a good boy. Give me a kiss. Thank you. I love this boy. So yeah, after I left the job, when I retired, I was stuck in this world of not trusting anybody that wasn't a cop, but not having my world of cops to hang around with anymore. And so I was forced into communicating with non-cops, not trusting anybody. And the end of this long process was that I realized something that I know a lot of old-timers on the department don't understand, is that people are inherently good. Now, yes, I still carry a gun with me no matter where I'm at. I carry a gun with me in the house. But I always extend the hand of friendship, you know, while my other hand rests on my Glock 23, as I've said before. Because I want people to pass the test, so to speak, and be good people. You know, everybody's flawed, myself included. Okay, so all of that is leading up to the substance of the video. And the reason I say I may lose some cop friends is they're going to wonder why I'm divulging police secrets that can help the guilty get away. One of the things I've done, now that we have the internet, which we didn't have back then, is, you know, you can educate yourself on any subject. And where at one time I honestly believed that there were no innocent people in jail. I believed that wholeheartedly. And now I foolishly look back on that, and I see case after case where, you know, through DNA and modern technology, somebody who's had 20 or 30 years of their life stolen from them, turned out they were innocent. It breaks my heart, man. And then I started thinking how easy it is for people to get caught up in shit, and maybe they're committing a crime, a low priority crime. You know, everybody makes mistakes. But here we go with the substance that's starting to rain. I can say this with almost absolute certainty. Almost 95% of the people that I took to jail talked themselves right into it. And what I mean by that is they didn't exercise their right to remain silent, and that's the point of this video. Charlie, you wait. This is advice I'm giving you. All right, hang on, let me put him on his leash. He wants to walk. Hang on. So, Charlie, slow down. Think about that. I'm telling you that people talked their way into jail. Charlie, stop. Now, I have never knowingly ever arrested anybody for something they didn't do. I've never seen it done. But what I can tell you is, or the advice I'm going to give you is this: in the future, should you get stopped by the police for whatever reason, my advice, cop to non-cop, is this. I don't recommend that you be rude to the police officer. That never helps. You know, cops are human too. This way, Charlie. You know, I mean, I'd have gangbangers talking shit to me. And, you know, why would I not impound their car and fuck their lives up? So I would definitely recommend against getting into a verbal battle with the police. Doesn't mean you gotta kiss their ass, but I would respectfully keep my mouth shut. That doesn't mean I wouldn't tell them, you know, basic information. There's a million videos that'll tell you to never give your ID and all this other shit. And whatever, you can make your own decision. But let's say you get stopped and they see an open container or something, and then they have, for whatever reason, they search your car, and I'm just making this one up. Let's say they find a box of prescription medicine and, you know, a box of other shit, including little baggies, little Ziploc baggies. Well, you probably realize that possession of illegal narcotics is one thing, possession for sales is another, much harsher. Being any good cop would jump to that assumption that if you got 500 Vicodin and a bunch of Ziploc baggies, that you're probably dealing this shit. Is it possible that you're moving your mom, who is on all kinds of medication, from one place to another, and half of her shit's in your car, and those are her meds, and you just happen to have a box from her kitchen, and that's why you got Ziploc bag? I mean, there's a million reasons that are legitimate that you might be in possession of something you shouldn't be, or at least there might be some facts that mitigate the situation. The minute you start figuring, hey man, if I'm a real nice guy, you know, and the cops will tell you that too. I mean, I used to do it. I used to cringe at how easy it was to get people to waive their rights and talk to me. But that was my job, was to put bad guys in jail. And I'm older now. I'm more wise in terms of how imperfect the system is. And I'm telling you, as a YouTube friend, if you are one of my YouTube friends, and as a cop that you hate, if you're a cop hater, listen, you have the right to remain silent. Use it. If you're stopped for drunk driving, do what you need to do, but keep your mouth shut in terms of where you've been, where you're going. That is nobody's business, and it can only hurt you. If you're found in possession of something illegal, you keep your mouth shut. It is the police officer and the detective's job to put the case together. It's not your job to help them. Fuck you. Now, why am I doing this? Do I want innocent, or do I want dangerous assholes to get off scot-free? Absolutely not. But by the same token, I don't want decent people who may have made a small mistake end up going to prison for, you know, some major felony and fucking their entire life up, having to get rid of their house and shit to pay lawyers' fees. Look, if you're a bad guy and the cop is halfway savvy and has his shit together, he'll be able to get a conviction no matter what. It's not hard, you know. If the evidence is not there, then it's not there. I just can't, I gotta reiterate how many times we had probable cause, we find something that's contraband, but we just need something to cinch it up. And you know, that little something always came from the suspect's mouth. People, I hope that you don't hate cops, because that's just fucking, that's a broad brush that I don't justify. That's like hating all black people. You need to speak as little as possible, and you want to, and the way you invoke your rights is you say, I don't want to, you know, all due respect, officer, I don't want to talk without my lawyer present. The minute you make that statement, they cannot ask you any more questions that are, you know, substantive to the crime. You know, they can ask you your middle name and all that shit, but they can't ask you things that are of evidentiary value. So that's it, man. That's my little advice for you. I always feel like you guys are my YouTube brothers and sisters. You know, being an ex-cop, though, I still have to remain cautious, and I always will to the day I die. That's, you know, a lot of guys I meet on YouTube, hey man, I'd love to have a beer with you. Well, that's not going to happen. You know, I mean, as much as I love you guys, I don't trust you. Because, you know, you keep your friends, your circle of friends small after a career in law enforcement. It's just the prudent thing to do. But as far as our YouTube relationship goes, I love each and every one of you. You guys have a great week, and as always, stay safe. LMS Tactical, I'm out. boy. Hey, come over here, see if it breaks. Right here. I'm surprised he's not rolling around. You silly boy. Charlie, dig, 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 dig. Dig, 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 dig over here. Dig, 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 dig. Dig, Charlie. Dig, 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 dig. Dig, good boy. Dig, 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 dig. Good boy. Good boy, Charlie. Dig, 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 dig. You silly boy. Come on. You're a crazy boy. This is fun, huh? This is fun. Yay, Charlie. Yay. It's fun. You silly boy. Woo. Here comes the train. All right, here comes the train. There's a train. Oh, that's the Florida car, the auto train. The Florida train. Yep, there's the cars all covered up. Everybody going to Florida. I gotta take that trip someday. Charlie, where are you going? Dig, 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 dig. Charlie, okay. Oh, Charlie boy. Go, Charlie, go, Charlie. Woo, go, Charlie, go, Charlie. Go, Charlie. You crazy boy. Okay. Go get it, Charlie. Charlie, go, Charlie, go, Charlie. Woo. Charlie's a crazy boy. Look at Charlie boy. He's a crazy boy. He's crazy. Oh, man. Ah! Charlie, you're a crazy boy. You're a crazy dog. You go get that. Go get that. What happened? Here, let's go try a new place. Charlie, wait for Daddy. Wait. Oh, look at this. This is deep. Dig, 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 Charlie, dig. Dig, Charlie. Look, there's water right there. Right there. There's water. There it is. There it is. Look. Charlie. You silly boy. You're a silly boy.